United Nations Volunteer, Bangkok Office, Mr. Daya Sagar Shertha, South and Southwest Asia Regional Focal Point from Nepal, Ms. Ilana Wong, Asia Pacific Regional Focal Point Migration Working Group, and representative for the UNMGCY. So I will start with the youth delegate, Ms. Ilana Wong, Asia Pacific Regional Focal Point, to take the floor and share her thoughts.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Fazahad, for the floor. And I'm proud to welcome everyone today on behalf of the United Nations Major Group for Children and Youth. As the formal mechanism for youth to meaningfully engage with the UN pillars across national, regional, and global levels, we are proud to congratulate the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation on the formal launch of the youth platform today. And we're delighted to celebrate such an occasion of you on the International Day of Peace. As the Asian Pacific Regional Focal Point for the UNMGCY Migration Working Group, I am particularly excited to see all that SAARC's youth platform will be able to do for regional youth empowerment. In addition, I would like to extend formal invitations to the SAARC Youth Platform members to join our new Asia-Pacific online collaboration community and work together on the future youth representation across the wider region. This is a timely event, providing an important opportunity for youth engagement and discussions around the preservation of peace, democracy, our planet, and prosperity in the South Asian region. Around the world, we are seeing tensions flare as social divisions deepen through echo chambers, fake news, and technology we had to fully understand or control. We also witness the fabric of our democracies being threatened and undermined, questioning the strength of our modern civilization. We see the effects of climate change manifest around us as many parts of the world burn and ocean levels rise. This brings into question our futures as young people and the futures of the next generations. How can we protect future livelihoods and provide them the times of peace, opportunity, and natural beauty that many of us are so lucky to experience? These are questions we must all grapple with, and thus today's discussions around the role of young people in promoting peace, democracy, conservation, and ultimately prosperity are all the more relevant. We also applaud the hosting of these discussions at a regional level, as it's clear that these solutions can only be sustainable if created at the regional and global levels. These challenges we face have many interconnected factors, migration being just one, but we must holistically stand up to address them together. Let's hope today's celebration of our young leaders' achievements in these fields serve both as symbols of hope and rallying calls to action for our world leaders to recognize the need for youth inclusion and empowerment. Needless to say, we will be watching today's discussions, achievements, and outcomes with great interest, and we look forward to closely supporting SAARC's youth platform in pursuit of a better future. Thank you all. You're muted, Fazad.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the statement, and really appreciate the support that we need in future, and of course for the strong partnership. And again, today's event that we are focusing on youth engagement for peace, democracy, planet, and prosperity in SAARC region through youth development. And we believe that without young people, we might not be able to achieve the goals that we have set for our future. Now, the next distinguished panel that we have, panelist that we have, our guest from Nepal. May I invite Mr. Ram Bandhu Subede, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Youth and Sports, Nepal. Sir, please, floor is yours.
Okay, thank you so very much. A very good evening, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am Ram Bandhu Subede here, Joint Secretary of Ministry of Youth and Sports. I express my cordial thanks for providing me this opportunity to put my views on formal launch event of SAARC Youth Platform organized by Youth for Environmental Education and Development Foundation. Youth manpower is the key driving force of economy, society, and development in every country, and such youth manpower is highly abundant in SAARC region. And we are in the verge of great opportunity at present to achieve demographic dividend in SAARC region. For such objectives, we should pressurize and help governments to address the issues properly through policy. Its youth are change and dynamism, and they are meaningful. Oh, fuck my ass! development of ore, fish, and
I think the speaker is muted. Can the host please unmute him?
Ram sir, हजुरको mic muted छ.
Okay, thank you very much. And to do so, youth in themselves should develop regime values of democracy such as meritocracy, transparency, compassion, tolerance, integrity, and persistence. Mainly the extremities of democracy are seen in SAARC region. The first one is nihilism and lack of professional competency is the second. In one hand, the role of youth is seen in the form of meritocracy, pulling themselves and the society towards mechanizations through sponsor and thought processes and knowledge produced by the regime. On the other side, youth are in the role of customers of political industry and religious extremities. Due to weak educational background and lack of technical skill in uh, uh, skill of production, this is an alarming stage in this region. Awarded youth mass at present, the should go for creative destruction of aforementioned status quos. And society based on equality, freedom, solidarity, and meritocracy is the charioteer of our journey towards peace and prosperity in this region. Youth today should bear ability to create through knowledge, through intensive debate, logic, and awareness, and maintain dynamism in the society. Such forums should conduct and operate campaigns to develop democratic awareness, rationality, and ethical and human values in the youths. Values like equilibrium of rights and responsibility, open-mindedness, partnership, cooperation, innovation, creativity, collaboration should be developed as the professional values of today's youth's mass. There must be cooperation, partnership, and coordination with the state actors, non-state actors, NGOs, international non-government NGOs, civil societies towards this direction. Ministry of Youth and Sports of Nepal is also committed on such spirit. The government of Nepal is actively working to utilize the around 40% of democratic dividend as an opportunity to achieve prosperity and happiness through youth development, youth engagement, youth employment, and youth sports initiatives. Finally, youth are our common future. Sustainable development, peace, and prosperity is possible only if we could free our youth mass of this region from poverty, unemployment, ignorance, inertia, and preoccupied ideology. Thus, common initiation of formal and informal institutions is very much essential in this proposal. I think this program, such type of programs will be fruitful to promote the ideas in this region. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your kind remarks. I totally agree with you that it's very important that how we can take this agenda forward of the youth development in SAARC region. And we also hope as a SAARC youth platform that this International Peace Day will not only bring the peace in the region, but also harmony among the countries, governments, and the partnership between the SAARC nations. I thank you again for your kind remarks. Now I would request Dr. Nagesh Kumar, Director and Head, South and Southwest Asia Office, UNESCAP. Sir, please, floor is yours.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, moderator, and all the distinguished participants of this very important event. I'm very happy to join you, and I wish to begin by congratulating the youth leaders of South Asian countries to launch this very important platform. It could not be more timely and more appropriate for this sub-region, which is passing through the youth bulge phase in its demographic evolution. And as it was mentioned earlier, 50% of Sorry, I'm muted.
Nagesh sir, your mic has been muted.
All right. Yeah. So I was saying that this sub-region, South Asia, is passing through youth bulge in its demographic transition, and that sums up the relevance of this coming together of youth organizations of South Asia. I think youth can act as the change agents of bringing inclusive and sustainable development, and they can become a very important voice for change and regional cooperation between themselves. I think South Asia has a lot of progress in empowering youth uh, by providing good education to them, but more needs to be done, especially at the levels of secondary and tertiary education, where we still lag behind other countries in Asia Pacific, like in East Asia. So we need to close those gaps in line with the goal 4 of sustainable development goals, which require and target that all boys and girls have universal access to education at primary and secondary levels. So we need to do a lot of work. But what I want to emphasize here is the continuing asymmetry and inequalities in access to opportunities of our youth, which holds them to contribute their full potential to their national economies and national development. So our studies at UNESCAP have found that although average looks very interesting, the school enrollment levels at secondary level have also gone up, but there are very big asymmetries and inequalities in how much education is available to a girl child vis-a-vis a boy, how much education is available to children living in rural areas vis-a-vis those living in urban areas, and then how much access is enjoyed by children coming from rich families vis-a-vis those who are not so privileged and poor families. So these barriers and these inequalities of opportunities, we need to remove them and close these gaps. We need to target that every single youth is equally empowered, equally having access to the good quality education at all different levels, so that they can contribute to the development of their own countries and the whole region, South Asia region, in a very, very empowered manner. So I want to just highlight this important message that we need to bring down the inequalities and work further, carry forward this agenda of sustainable development goals. And I hope and wish that the youth leaders really take advantage of the opportunities that are available because of digital connectivity, and they really empower themselves. They become change agents, and they bring about the change in terms of making our societies more inclusive, more sustainable, more resilient, and more connected with each other. So on that message, I want to wish all the best wishes and congratulations to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your and we really appreciate that you highlighted the inequalities in the region, and we really hope that in future we will be able to reduce them through the support of the governments. And one of the major things that we have noticed that so far, even the national youth councils by the SAARC countries have not been even established. So we hope that it will be even it will be better in near future, and the governments are already pushing the youth agenda, and with the help of our member organizations in the SAARC countries, we will be able to highlight the youth agenda in future, and we will make sure that youth councils and the youth voices has been heard and are being heard at the government level. Now I would request Miss Christy Rensire, UNODC Advocate for SDGs, UNIANYD from New York office. Madam, floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone joining from across the world today. I just want to congratulate you, first of all, on the launch of this regional platform, and also thank you for inviting the Interagency Network for Youth Development, or IANID, to be part of the event today. I'm actually work for the UN Office on Drugs and Crime based in Vienna, Austria. And UNODC, which is the acronym for us, is one of the 3 co-chairs for IANID for 2020 to 2021. So for those who are not necessarily familiar with the work of IANID, we are a network built of UN entities and a youth caucus that work to increase the effectiveness of youth development across the UN system and into other streams of society by strengthening collaboration and exchange. IANID works in coordination with many young people across the world, including some of the members of the SAARC youth platform, which is how we got connected here. And we want to endorse and encourage meaningful youth engagement. So we're thankful for the ongoing support that you have and the collaboration from different regional youth caucuses and networks, including the SAARC youth platform. So not only are we celebrating the launch of the platform today, but we're also celebrating the International Day of Peace. And so it kind of goes without saying that in 2020, youth, peace, and security agenda can include traditional forms of YPS, which, war, conflict, etc., but it also includes the health security threats posed by COVID-19. And so some of the things with COVID-19 have really exposed and shown the pre-existing societal fissures that threaten to increase. And for instance, the divide between rich and poor, and also disparities between men and women enjoying equal rights, not only social rights, but legal and economic and cultural rights. In South Asia, some of these inequalities have spurred on criminal activities and threatened the stability of safety in their communities as well. All young people are feeling the effects of the pandemic and their rights, including the right to safety, employment, health, education, food security, as well as the right to participation and inclusion. In order to address the right infringements, youth networks need to be strengthened and empowered, and which is why we're so grateful and so excited to see this network here. All of us, this is particularly important as the world enters a decade of action to achieve the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. The participation of young people is really imperative to take a good look at the way things are, the way we want them to be, and creative and exciting new ways for change in the future. We thank you for your time and energy and continued collaboration to ensure meaningful youth engagement in the South Asia region. And we hope that this network will be able to encourage participation, discussions, and further actions on policies and programs to assist young people across the South Asia region. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your statement, and you rightly mentioned the meaningful youth participation and engagement at every level. And the purpose of this platform is the same, that we focus on the meaningful youth participation at all levels. Now I would request Ms. Emilia Asadova, Co-Chair APNI Program Analyst, United Nations Volunteer, Bangkok Office. Madam, floor is yours.
Good evening to everyone from Bangkok. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
It's a pleasure for me to be here, and I recognize a few familiar faces, including Sahat, who I have seen in a few of the meetings. I represent the Asia Pacific Interagency Network on Youth, which is a network of the regional offices of the UN entities. And right now we have all the entities of the UN that are represented at the Asia Pacific level, that are members of the Asia Pacific Interagency Network on Youth. And we have the major group of children and youth, the regional groups, and the caucus. And it's a pleasure always to have youth groups and the youth caucus with us at all of the meetings. And we truly, really appreciate this partnership and an opportunity actually to work on a number of issues and plan the UN programs and projects together with young people. I was very actually happy to see and to hear that the SAARC Youth Platform is being officially launched. So big congratulations, and thank you for all the work that has been put into this. And just to say that we are looking very much forward to working together with the SAARC Youth Platform. And for example, something that we do is information sharing and networking, so that we can all better understand and have a common approach on youth empowerment. And this is something I hope that we will be able to do with the SAARC Youth Platform. Also the advocacy or engagement of young people in the work of the UN. I think the voices of the South Asia have been missing or not very loud. So I hope that we can strengthen it now with this platform. And we also try to create more synergies to promote a regional voice and on behalf of the UN entities at the regional level, we can provide technical support for policy dialogues and capacity building. We are also looking forward to work on the promoting of the youth policies as well with the SAARC Youth Platform, as well as having you as part of the analysis work that we do on the state of young people in the region. So today's, as was mentioned, is a happy International Day of Peace to everyone. And the theme for this year is shaping peace together. And I think young people have been very, very crucial in all the peace efforts, although not often very recognized in a loud manner. But I really believe that this current generation of young people can and is already spreading compassion and kindness and hope in the face of the pandemic and even before the pandemic. And on behalf of me wearing a hat of the UN Volunteers Program, I have seen examples of millions of volunteers in the region of Asia being there, risking their lives and safety, raising awareness, and etc. So I really think that the region needs more, and all societies need more of young people who are really driven and really have this optimism and hope. So I want to congratulate once again the SAARC Youth Platform, and very much looking forward to you joining the Asia Pacific Interagency Network on Youth. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and we really appreciate the support of APNI, and we hope that we will be learning and we will be working together in near future as well. We have our last speaker for today's opening ceremony, Mr. Daya Sagar Shetty, South and Southwest Asia Regional Focal Point for Asia Pacific Regional CSO Mechanism.
Thank you so much to the organizer for inviting me to attend SAARC Youth Platform launching program. First of all, on behalf of Asia Pacific Regional CSO Engagement Mechanism, APRCM, I'd like to congratulate all the youths of our region who have started this initiative. I really appreciate this initiative because at the moment, whole world is suffering from difficult consequences created by the COVID-19 pandemic. Right now, young people are suffering too much all over the world. South Asia is hit hard. South Asia is backward region after Sub-Sahara in the world in terms of development. Why South Asia has been left behind? Young people have to ask to their parents, political leaders, and to their governments. COVID-19 is not only the pandemic. Already we have been facing number of pandemic in South Asia, such as poverty, hunger, inequality, climate crisis, injustices, biodiversity loss, and the bad governance. I apologize to all the youth because we have not been able to build safe world and to secure life to our youth and coming generations. Of course, we have to struggle against the root causes and the systemic barriers of all those issues I mentioned above. We have to fight against oligarchy. In my opinion, democracy is gradually transferring into the partycracy and kleptocracy. States are becoming arrogant and civil freedoms are in threat. Civic space is gradually sinking in the South Asian countries. Current regimes are anti-science, anti-constitution, and anti-people. Of course, we need social economic contract between the state and the peoples. We are destroying the nature and marginalizing the people in the name of neoliberal economic system. Corporate houses and multinational companies are capturing essential public services such as healthcare, education, etc. Corruption is rampant. Patriarchy and the caste system are deep rooted in our mind and society. Populism, extremism, radicalism, militarization, and intolerance are growing in the name of religion, nationalism, and protectionism. We are witnessing injustice in every moment. Women, children, Dalits, indigenous people, sexual minorities, farmers, refugees, informal sectors workers do not feel safe today. Gender-based violence and the caste-based violence are becoming serious. We have to raise our voices for abolition of the nuclear weapons, disarmament, and the sustainable peace in our region, because sustainable development is not possible without peace. We have the intergovernmental platform, SAARC, but it is almost inactive. It is obvious that only reason is conflict between the India and Pakistan. Of course, we need paradigm shift in our vision, policy, system, institution, practices, and behavior for our sustainable future. I call on young people to raise their voices for human rights and development justice. Young people have to claim their rights for their safe, secure, and prosperous future. Finally, I want to draw attention of all the young participants here to be united and uproot all the systemic barriers of our underdevelopment. APRCM is always stand with young people. I express my full solidarity. Thank you and wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, sir, for your statement and highlighting the gaps within this region. And we hope that with the support of civil society organization, the young people will be able to support and highlight, and not only highlight, but also push the agenda. We also encourage all youth organizations from the region to join us for the equal and prosper region through meaningful youth engagement and for the sustainable development. We also calls upon government of SAARC region and SAARC Secretariat to table and approve the SAARC Youth Charter, which is due for a long time now. And we hope that SAARC Secretariat as well as the governments will also listen the youth voices for the development. I thank you all for joining us today, specifically our partner organization in Nepal who put things together, Youth for Environment, Education and Development Foundation. At the same time, I also congratulate and all the team members of the SAARC Youth Platforms Secretariat. Thank you very much. And within 10 minutes, we will have the next panel. Please stay with us. It will be on peace, since we are celebrating Peace Day. So the next panel will be on peace and youth in SAARC region. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Anurag Melu, you are there smiling at us. Tell us something about you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Devapriya, you can unmute yourself, right? Devo, can you hear me?
Yes, Father, I can hear you, but I think the host is muting everybody over here. In this, I think, breakout session, it's a good way just interact with each other, network with each other. So if the host can kindly unmute till the new session begins, the next session begins, we can interact just to meet each other.
Look at Mr. Malu with a broad grin. He can speak.
Hello, everybody.
There is somebody speaking. Why not? Tell us
Yes,
something
because
about.
So kindly wait. Kindly wait 1-2 minutes. We're starting. Okay.
okay.
So silence then.
Hello, everyone. It's me, Kalpana Kulung from Kathmandu, Nepal. I'm the administrative coordinator of SAARC Youth Platform, and I'll be conducting the next session. Apology for the late for the delay in the for conducting the panel session. I would like to start our session, but for now, let me invite all of us for a group photo. I would like to invite all of us to open our camera for a group photo, and also would like to request our technical team to capture our group photo. So may we all open our camera for a group photo session. Are we all ready? Okay, so this is a peace day, so why not to do it in a peace way, like making this signal, a peace signal. Yeah, everyone join me. IS, are we taking the picture? Hello, IS, are you there? Krishna?
Yeah, okay, I'm doing that.
Okay. Okay, so everyone, peace.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, everybody. We are done.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Now we have already complete our first opening session. That was formal session, and I would like to thank all the guests who have come us and who have joined us, and making this auspicious event more historical. Now I would like to go for our panel session. The first panel session, we have. The first panel session we have is on Youth for Peace and Democracy in SAARC. And in this session, we will have diverse, wonderful speakers from different background. I would like to welcome our speakers first and introduce them to you all. The first keynote speaker is Dr. Nischal Nath Pandey. He is the chairperson of South Asia Foundation, SAF Nepal. And we have another speaker, Mr. Liu Paul. He's a desk officer for South Asia. Konrad Advener Stephen, EV Berlin. He's from Germany. And we have Ms. Sanila Gurung. She is program director of Beyond Beijing Committee, and she is based in Kathmandu, Nepal. Similarly, we have Ms. Mursal Kakar from Global Peace Chain. He's a Global Peace Chain Ambassador, Youth's Commitment for Change Organization, Kabul, Afghanistan. Likewise, we have another guest speaker, Mr. Anuj Rai Peter, Program Coordinator from Blue Diamond Society, BDS. He's also based in Kathmandu, Nepal. So we have all these wonderful speakers we have today for this panel session on Youth for Peace and Democracy in SAARC. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Nischal Nath Pandey, the chairperson of South Asia Foundation, SAF Nepal, for his speech. Dr. Nischal, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Kalpana ji. Thank you for this kind opportunity. I'd like to thank Anish ji and all the organizers for this wonderful program. I think we are celebrating today the International Day of Peace by spreading compassion, kindness, and hope in this face of this pandemic. And I will be short. A lot has already come from the previous speakers. But what I would like to highlight is that there is a great danger of this pandemic situation, that it will promote discrimination and more violence. We are seeing economic recession around the world. We are witnessing trade problems, unemployment, job losses, decrease in remittances, and this will lead to political disturbance and conflict. And a country like Nepal or Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and even Philippines, we are very dependent on remittance sent by our workers living and working abroad, and this is already impacting very gravely in our economy. Young people today are facing a lot of challenges. Colleges are not opening at many places. There are online classes, yes, but not all students in the rural areas have access to the internet and these online classes. So are we creating again a lopsided society? I think that also needs to be tackled right now. There is massive job cut across all industries. Tourism has come to a virtual standstill, and there are countries which are very dependent on tourism income. And plus, there is mental tension and domestic violence, and compounded by economic problems. So this is, I think, a very rare situation where the youth are facing multiple problems at different sides. So therefore, I feel young people have to come together to join hands and and have a unified voice on peace and non-violence. And also, this is an opportunity to raise awareness on the importance of peace. I think this is very important. So in this respect, I would like to thank Anish ji, a very energetic young person from Nepal, the youth leaders who have come to uh, think about this platform where young people from across the world can come together and discuss ideas, share experiences on these issues. I'm very happy to see my colleague Louis Paul from the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung, their South Asia desk, because we are also involved in the Center for South Asian Studies and Consortium of South Asian Studies, South Asian think tanks, COSAT, supported by Adenauer Stiftung. And we do a lot of conferences and seminars on peace building, regional cooperation, conflict resolution, and also youth radicalization in South Asia, and how the think tanks of the region can come together. So I urge the young people to see our websites, and let's work together on how we can mitigate these issues, how we can think about common solutions to our problems. I'm also part of the South Asia Foundation. We have a prize, UNESCO Goodwill Ambassador Madanjit Singh Prize for Tolerance and Peace, which is given by UNESCO every once in 2 years, $100,000. And it gives prize to people who have really made a mark on peace and on non-violence. There was a little bit of mention on SAARC in the previous session. I'd like to point out that, of course, regional cooperation and connectivity has been a major problem in our region. There is also a major hurdle of visas, because citizens of South Asia do not get visa very easily to travel to each other's countries like in Europe. We also have a vision of a common currency like Schengen visa, or the euro in South Asia. Now, all these are issues whose time has come, really, and the pandemic situation should not halt these efforts to come together in our region. Let me also point out that the SAARC foreign ministers meeting is scheduled for Thursday by virtual conference. It is an old practice of holding an informal meeting of SAARC foreign ministers at the sidelines of the UN General Assembly, which has not taken place this year. So I think there is some forward movement in terms of SAARC also. If we see the foreign ministers meeting, the heads of government also met virtually with regards to tackling the coronavirus. So therefore, I see some forward movement to promote regional cooperation in South Asia. Of course, the summit has not taken place, and that is a real dampener for those of us that work in this region. So, and in conclusion, I would like to again thank the organizers for this opportunity, and let us come together virtually. And I think this is the new normal that we are seeing across the world. But let's meet more often. Let's share ideas, experiences, and try to promote peace this way. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nishtalnath Pandey, for your remarks. It was really insightful, and as you mentioned, that we South Asians have many problems like visa problem, poverty, but despite that, we have to go together jointly, and that is the truth to achieve the 2030 agenda. And we youth must be put in the core of the 2030 agenda planning and implementation process, and that should be considered by all the stakeholders. I would like to thank again for your wonderful remarks, and I would like to invite our next speaker on this session, Mr. Louis Paul. I would like to invite you for your remarks. Kindly limit your remarks to 3 to 4 minutes. Now the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kalpana, and also thank you to Nishcha for the kind introduction. Let me briefly just say a few words about Konrad Adenauer Stiftung. We're a political foundation with our headquarters in Berlin, Germany, and we have a presence in over 100 countries, including in South Asia, in India. And what we try to do is we try to be a platform for exchange for politicians, for political parties, and also for experts, but mostly also for civil society. And of course, we see youth as a very important part of that. Basically, what we're trying to do in Germany and across the world is be a driving force in the advancement of democracy and rule of law, and also in political participation, because those are all, we believe, the main pillars of peace and the lasting political stability. So the previous speaker has already said a few things about the projects that Konrad Adenauer Stiftung is engaged in, and I would like to add some more remarks on that. So in Asia, we run the Konrad Adenauer School for Young Politicians, or short KASYP, KASYP. And this is an annual program for aspiring young politicians to learn about the ways politics works, and also very practical tools that they can use in their day-to-day political affairs. And this is an annual program that you can find in the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung's Singapore office, the political dialogue based in Singapore. And applications for this year have actually already closed, so it's about the right time now to start preparing for next year and election. The applications can be submitted until September next year. And last but not least, the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung also awards scholarships for people from Asia and across the world, in fact, to study in Germany. Those apply for postgraduate scholarships, and there are plenty of opportunities to apply. And I would indeed ask you to just type it into your search engine, because then it's probably easier to find the right scholarship rather than me going through the different options right now. So I'm very much looking forward to cooperating with you on this platform. I'm very grateful for the invitation to speak here, because Konrad Adenauer Stiftung certainly wants to stay engaged in the Asia Pacific and help with the advancement of political participation for youth in South Asia. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Liu, for your remarks. Now, without delay, I would like to invite our another speaker, Ms. Sanila Gurung, Program Director of Beyond Beijing Committee, Kathmandu, Nepal. Ms. Sanila, this floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I will take this opportunity to address the importance of young people in addressing peace and democracy. When we say the word democracy, we intend towards liberal democracy, which reflects certain characteristics such as rule of law, transparency and accountability, good governance, free and fair judicial process. Sorry, my internet connection is not good, so that's why I've switched it off. Judicial process, absence of corruption, independent media, and open political and civic space. The issue of peace and democracy has been addressed by Sustainable Development Goal, SDG 16, an opportunity to set up engagement around advancing Goal 16 and to encourage a thematic discussion of democracy. However, according to the Global States of Democracies Indices, global progress on SDG 16 is facing significant challenges. Of the 18 indicators used to measure progress on SDG 16, a total of 12 have seen significant decline, with just 5 indicators showing advances and 1 seeing stagnation. The SDG 16 targets that are facing most challenges with more declines and advances are SDG 16.1 on reducing violence and SDG 16.10 on freedom of expression and fundamental freedoms. Thus, it is essential for the representation of young people as one of the major driving forces for a change. All societies need the power of youth to achieve a better future. This means that youth empowerment is imperative that can enhance the sustainability of communities. The main concern and challenge remain when it comes to the space and meaningful engagement of diverse youth organizations, youth leaders, and young people, especially young women who face double discrimination based on gender and age. An efficient and structured mechanism needs to be established to ensure meaningful participation of young people in the decision-making process, an essential step to guarantee youth contribution in translating policies into action and in making government's efforts more accountable towards their commitment. Young people have to be recognized, respected, and included as an integral part of development and decision-making. It is more imperative than ever as the global trend indicates that our democracy is at threat. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sanila Gurung, for your remarks. Now, I would like to welcome and invite Ms. Mursal Cocker, Global Peace Chain Ambassador Youth. Ms. Cocker, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I'm very grateful to have you all here. First of all, congratulations on the International Day of Peace for everyone. We are here to communicate about the what challenges do we face when we are talking about democracy and peace, especially youth. So nowadays, youth we have youth forms in all over the world, especially if being a representative of Afghanistan. If we are giving a very important part for Afghanistan and giving them this opportunity. So we have Afghan youth has made significant developments in education, health, technology, security, and other fields. From their involvement in the technological developments such as Afghan robotic girls to safeguarding the country to the borders, they have made the robots. If you're talking about the social, we have in social culture part. Now that Afghan peace negotiation is there, so we have youth that's marginalized there. So now, if you're talking about the democracy in youth and peace, so now now youth will raise their voices and emphasize that no peace can be sustainable and processed until unless the youth and women will not be there. So while women and young generation contribution to the development and these SDGs goals, human rights, economic growth, not only in Afghanistan, but in all over the world, especially in SAARC countries that we are needed the most. So for now, we have to see that as citizens nurturing our democracy, we should have nurture our peace and also for our neighbors. At the end, I want to add that my message on this International Peace Day would be, we are all humans, race disconnected us, religion separated us, politics divided us, but let's forget all our differences based on religion, caste, gender on this International Peace Day and work together to create a better tomorrow for the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Mursal Kakkar. Now I would like to invite Mr. Anuj Rai Peter, Program Coordinator of Blue Diamond Society. He's based in Kathmandu, Nepal, and he is also a LGBTIQ rights activist. Mr. Anuj Peter, please, now it's your floor.
Thank you so much, Kalpana, and I would like to say hi. I'm Anuj Peter Rai from Nepal. So first of all, let's celebrate this International Peace Day with the hope of positivity that the society will accept someday with the all diverse kind of youth. When we talk about the peace, I think we should not forget about the youth, that the future and the change maker in the society. So when we talk about the youth, I think we should also focus about the diversity of youth. If you see in the SAARC countries, then there is quite progressive, not progressive laws and policies over the LGBTIQ issues. But when it comes with the LGBTI issues, the SAARC countries had kept in all box and they treated as a third gender or a transgender only. So my focus is that we should have to salute and respect the all diversities of youth, not only LGBTI youth. There is indigenous, there is marginalized, disabled youth as well. So I think when we talk about the peace and the involvement of youth in SDG, we should there is no any plans and there is no any policies regarding the LGBTI youth, because still the SAARC, or even though all the countries, they are struggling and facing for the laws and policies of LGBTI to change the society in a making of normalization. When it comes with the youth empowerment, youth capacity of the LGBT youth, still need to work on it. So my focus would be, if we all want to see the future of bright, we should have to acknowledge and we should have to keep the diversity of youth for the better future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Anuj Peter. Now we will have a question and answer session. I would request to conduct this session to Soumya Agrawal, and now she will lead the session of question and answer and another panel session. Now, Soumya, over to you.
Thank you so much, Kalpana, and hello everyone. I am Soumya, and I had some technical issues, so I couldn't join in earlier. And like to move to the Q&A session, I would request our viewers and people who have joined to post their questions in the chat box. And meanwhile, I would like to ask a question from our keynote speaker, Dr. Michelle Nath Pandey, that if you can highlight some of the work that how you are engaging with young people and some of the strengths that you see to work and engage more with young people.
Well, thank you. I also see a question on can we organize a youth gathering of the SAARC countries after the pandemic? I think certainly yes. It is the youth that has to really be the spear leaders in this context. First of all, I would also like to point out that the Adenauer Stiftung has an office in Afghanistan. And as part of the COSAT network, we very recently organized a webinar on the future of Afghanistan, the peace talks that is going on, and bringing stakeholders from the region really. So therefore, I think the issue of climate change is also going to be important. You know, post-pandemic, at the peak of this pandemic, everybody's talking about health issues and public health and water and sanitation and the shortage of ventilators and so forth. But nobody's talking about, again, green energy technology, climate change. We do not want international debate and discussion to divorce these crucial issues after the pandemic, because there will be a need for economic resurrection. But that does not mean that you now forget about climate change issues. And I think we are also working together very closely with the Adenauer Stiftung's Hong Kong office, which looks after the climate change and renewable energy issues. I think these are platforms where we can really engage with the youth. I would suggest that you should look at our websites, get connected with us in our Facebook pages, and let's see how we can come together on these issues. But I would like to stress also on the fact that on the issue of scholarships being provided by various organizations, the youth really has to get into these platforms and see where you can make use of these scholarships, because a lot of these offices are offering a lot of scholarships, not only Political Dialogue Asia program, but also Rule of Law program, also based in Singapore. The Hong Kong office of Adenauer Stiftung also offers scholarships. I suggest that the young people should get into these social media sites, websites, and see where the opportunity lies. And lastly, I would also like to point out that the rule of law issue, because we have seen political violence on the rise, we have seen young people coming to the streets, they're unhappy. This is going to be the new norm, and how the governments of our region tackle this problem of economic slowdown, unemployment, production loss, and how to cope with this whole issue of education. Because are we out of that mold when colleges and universities are no longer going to be there? Are we now completely in the phase of online education? I don't think so, but is this the new norm? So I think that a complete new paradigm shift is taking place in international relations. And this is where I think the youth will have to really look into this whole issue of education, pandemic, and as I mentioned, opportunities are there for you. You have to really get into it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And some of the key points that you have highlighted about and a way forward that I can see particularly is that how there needs to be more collaboration and there needs to be more spaces for young people like intergenerational dialogue so that everyone can have like that safe space to share what are the expectations, what are the needs and how can this be handled more in a collaborative way. So very well pointed out, Dr. Pandey, and thank you so much for your contribution. Now, with this, I would like to move forward to Liu Paul from KAS. So I would like to know, and if you can also highlight that this year we are celebrating the 5th anniversary of the UN Security Council Resolution 20 to 50, which gives young people, which talks about participation, protection, prevention of young people. So I would like to know how you and your office is working on promoting the resolution and implementing it.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak again. And yes, certainly, the UN resolution, of course, is a factor in our work. And as I mentioned, we have a global presence of over 100 offices. They all run their individual programs. And in these programs, of course, these the resolutions and the work plans and outputs from the United Nations also play a major role. And in our engagement with civil society, we certainly try to put a focus on the engagement with youth because we really see that as the bridge towards the future. So whenever we can, we try to include young experts or speakers in the events we have, for example, in our offices that have already been mentioned in Singapore and Hong Kong, but also in India and in other countries. And our most direct offer to aspiring youth in Asia is really our scholarship programs, where you see very different scholarship opportunities that each and every one will have to identify for themselves. And the Konrad Adenauer School for Young Politicians, if you're engaged in a political party, in really making policy, then maybe this school, this training will also be an option for you. And you're more than welcome, of course, to consider and join our program.
Thank you so much, Mr. Paul. So, considering the time, I would like to conclude this panel, and I also see a lot of excitement in the chat box that people are super excited to know what are we going to do next and how we can engage more with the SAARC platform. So I would say maintain that excitement because after this today's launch, we are planning to have more events, more engagement, and you will certainly see all our partners who are there on the panel today being engaged more. And you can also check their work, the amazing dynamic work that they all are doing. So with this, I would like to pass the floor to our panel. Thank you so much, everyone. And once again, a very happy International Peace Day. Kalpana, are you with us? Okay, there is some technical issue at your part, so no worries. So our third panel is Youth for Planet and Prosperity in SAARC countries. So, so I would like to invite our first speaker, who is Miss Nanki Kaur. She is the Regional Program Manager for Adaptation and Resilience Building, International Center for Integrated Mountain Development. So I would like to invite her for her contribution.
Thank you. I am just trying to figure out how to upload my presentation.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can see that. Thank you.
Hi, good morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you are. Thank you very much for inviting me to this panel, and very excited to be learning more about the platform and its launch. Congratulations. My name is Nanki Kaur. I head up the Adaptation and Resilience Building Program at the International Center for Integrated Mountain Development. And it's a privilege to speak on the panel for Youth for Planet Prosperity in SAARC. I've got a few slides that I'd like to focus on. And from my perspective, I shall be focusing on the mountains. So specifically the Hindu Kush Himalaya region, which is the mountain area shared between 8 countries. And ICIMOD, or the International Center for Integrated Mountain Development, was established to support collaboration in this region to support sustainable mountain development. We consider this region as extremely important, in fact, as the pulse of the planet. As you can see from this slide, it is home to some of the major rivers, covers 8 countries, provides services, ecosystem services, or supports the livelihoods of 240 million people who live in the mountains, but also an additional 1.65 billion people who live in the downstream, including some of the SAARC countries that we don't work with specifically. So as I said, it's the pulse of the planet. But despite its global importance, the Hindu Kush Himalaya still remains one of the poorest and most neglected regions in the world. So here are some figures just to highlight that point, whether we are talking about food insecurity or energy poverty or poverty itself. It's higher when we are talking about people who live in the mountains as compared to the national average. And this region has also faced high out migration, with people moving out of this region to look for jobs. The other point that our panelist in the previous session highlighted, that when it comes to climate change, we at ICIMOD are extremely concerned about this issue, and looking at current emission scenarios, we know that a 1.5 degree world is also too hot for the mountain areas. And if we were to look at the current emission scenarios, this region is likely to warm by 5 degrees by the end of this century. So that's not a very good place to leave young people with. I'm sorry to say that. And on top of this, we've now we are all going through the global pandemic, which, as previous speakers have also highlighted, has sort of really shown some of the vulnerabilities in this region and has exacerbated when it comes to economic shocks or gender-related issues. These have all got highlighted further by the global health crisis. So this is where I think a platform like this will play an extremely important role. At ICIMOD, we are working with our member countries and our partners, including young people, to really look at how a recovery from COVID-19 and a response to climate change can really focus on sustainable mountain development in the long term, and whilst doing so, can also address climate change. Like I said, we've been working with partners, and at the moment we are focusing on 6 areas of actions or to support a resilient future, whether that's looking at social protection systems, which play an important role for peace and security. We are looking a lot at nature-based solutions within the mountain ecosystems, whether that's focusing on key mountain products and services, organic farming, water-based solutions. So to sort of really invest in these areas, we are focusing very much on resilient entrepreneurship, where some of our work, it's again very exciting to work with some of the young entrepreneurs in the region, and the values that they bring to enterprise development is very exciting and does give a reason for hope for a new future. And you can see there's another one that we're focusing on, a sustainable and inclusive labor market, which again has a very strong focus on supporting young people in the labor market to find more resilient jobs and move into green jobs. So these are some of the things that we are focusing on at ICIMOD. And I'm going to end with a remark from Greta Thunberg, who is a young leader, a global icon, I would say. And I really do believe that this decade, humanity will decide its future. And to make it the best one that we can, I think young people, I do hope that they convert the disruption that we are in just now into an opportunity, into innovation. And the platform that's being launched today, again, congratulations. It's focused on learning, networks, capacity development, and some of the working areas that you've identified are extremely important. So that's it from me. Thank you, and look forward to hearing what the others have to say as well.
Thank you so much, Nanki, for your valuable input to the whole session and starting us off. We really appreciate how you have very deeply shared about the situation and highlighted also on the current pandemic. Now, as our next speaker, we will have Mr. Ariel, who's the Regional Advocacy and External Engagement Manager for World Vision International.
Hi, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. Hello, everyone. It's an honor to be part of this momentous event, the launching of the SAARC Youth Platform, and my warmest congratulations to all the organizers of this initiative. World Vision International is a global humanitarian development and advocacy organization dedicated to working with children and youth to achieve their full potential and address causes of poverty and injustice. We are a child and youth focused organization, and we are community based. We are present in 17 countries in Asia Pacific, and 5 of which are based in the SAARC sub-region: Afghanistan, Bangladesh, India, Nepal, and Sri Lanka. Our focus is advocating for localization of sustainable development goals and ending violence against children and youth as well. In World Vision, we believe in empowering youth and children to be drivers of change. And we are one with you in this platform in highlighting the importance of young people's participation in local, national, sub-regional, and even regional governance and decision-making processes for sustainable development, achievement of sustainable development goals, inclusive development, and even equity. This time more than ever, we need to see children and youth as partners rather than recipient of services, because children and youth are not only the future but also the present of this world. We also believe that at the community and local level, we should facilitate dialogue and consultations with children and youth on their experiences and recommendations on certain policies relevant to them, and also their experiences on the impact of COVID-19 pandemic. We need to involve children and youth in social accountability mechanisms to improve basic services such as health, education, employment, and etc. We provide children and youth with space and opportunity to bring the voices of their constituents in regional and even at global accountability platforms. I just would like to share with you that last week we launched the report entitled Guardians of the Planet, Asia Pacific Children and Youth Voices on Climate Crisis and Disaster Risk Reduction. We launched that together with UNMGCY, UNICEF, UNDRR, and other child-focused organizations. And this report is a compilation of data from consultation with children and youth in 21 countries in Asia Pacific last year, 2019. We will use this report as solid evidence in advocating for the rights and rights of children and youth to be at the heart of policies and programs related to the needs of the youth in general. And this is just one of many consultative dialogues that we will be conducting together with children and youth, because we have seen how children and youth has been greatly impacted or affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. And this and their voices, your voice, really matter. There are also other activities in the pipeline that we look forward to partner with this platform. Finally, we would like to extend our heartfelt appreciation to the organizers of this platform, the SAARC Youth platform, and for initiating meaningful engagement of young people on issues that affects them. This platform is really timely and important venue for collective learning and collective action among groups, youth groups in South Asia. We in World Vision are very excited to collaborate with you, work with you in building a peaceful and prosperous society for children and youth. Thank you very much and good day.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ariel, for your valuable inputs and intervention. Now, I would like to invite our another speaker, Mr. Johannes Vogel. He is Program Coordinator in Asia Kinder Not Life, EV, and he's from Germany. Mr. Johannes, the floor is yours.
Hello, good morning and good evening to everyone. I'm very delighted in participating in this really international event about the important question of how youth in South Asia has been shaping and will shape the future of the region. And I'm delighted to contribute with the experiences from the work my organization is doing in the region in collaboration with children and young people. I'm working for a German development organization, Kindernothilfe, which has been founded 61 years ago by supporting children in India orphans, children from families with difficult economic background, domestic violence, etc., by enrolling them in children's homes, always run by local partners, not by us, but we are supporting them ideally and financially. And we have then enhanced our work by implementing programs in other countries in South Asia. We are also active in Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, and Sri Lanka. And it soon proved a good idea to strengthening the youth capacities by providing them with a formal education, because many of the young people who left the children's homes with a finished education, they wanted to give something back. They returned to their regions of origin. They established own projects, organizations, schools by providing formal education and awareness building to the families, to the children in the region. So they served as multipliers and reached many people which our organization would never have had the resources to reach. So this was a good experience already many decades ago. However, my organization faced the question how the youth by themselves, they can shape the future. Other speakers have mentioned it. It's not like older people or organizations from abroad who should make the agenda, but the young people themselves in South Asia know what they want, what they need, and which problems are there. So our focus shifted from children's homes to community development projects, how we call it. Work in families, in villages, and according to the United Nations Convention of Children's Rights, participation of children is among the main pillars of our work. And children's and young people's opinion, needs, and ideas always shape our programs. So before our local partners start a project in any region in South Asia, the children and the young people are asked, hey, what do you think about your life, about your family? Are there any problems? What is your opinion? What do you feel? What do you want to achieve for you, for your siblings, your friends, and so on? And based on this feedback, on these insights, we then design our projects, and also for monitoring during the whole project period, which usually is for 5 years. The children's view is always the most important. Of course, parents also are an important target group, and local leaders, politicians, teachers, etc., because they need to know how to forward gender equality, a safe living environment for the children, how to counter domestic violence, etc. But the children and young people themselves, they have the best ideas and they are the main target group. And by doing so, we enable the young people from the countryside in South Asia to actively be part of the development of the region, to be part of these discussions, because we take the implications of some projects and put it into new projects. And this also enables those who do not have resources to join any development organization. It also enables those young people to participate, also maybe if they don't know how much implication their idea will have on further project implementation. But by this, we reach really many young people in South Asia. And I think this is a good concept to have a broad range of young people in this region to participate actively in the development. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Joan Svogel, for your valuable remarks. Now, I would like to invite Ms. Jacqueline Lipi Sakia. She is Asia Pacific Regional Focal Point, Sendai Stakeholders Group. She is based in Assam, India. Now the floor is yours.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity and inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here. So I'm trying to share my screen. Okay. So is it visible now?
Yes.
Yes, that is visible.
Okay. Thank you so much. Good evening, good afternoon, and hello to everyone. Thank you, Arnil, already mentioned about the launch of the report, The Guardian of the Planet. So I'll take you through to our findings and how we wanted to engage more children and youth from the SAARC countries. So the the report and the infographic is available on the Relief web, and we had the launch recently on 16th of September. So we have done both online and the face-to-face consultation to get the voices of children and youth on climate crisis and DRR. And online consultation has been translated into the local languages so that they could be reach out to the more and more children and youth. So coming to the countries, the 12 countries have participated in the consultation, and we had one regional consultation which was held in Bangkok. We did this survey to inform the policymakers, the UN agencies, and the organization who has been actively involved in climate crisis and DRR. And we hope to take it to the Asia Pacific Ministerial Conference so that we could put forward the voices of children and youth to the more wider group. Coming up to the findings, so children and youth has uh, has mentioned that climate crisis is the one which concerns them the most, followed by the access to work or unemployment, access to education, and safe from disaster impacts. And then coming to the first point, like half of the Asia Pacific population is below the age of 24, and we have a huge labor force present in the SAARC countries. And this four factors which worry children and youth need to be focused on to build a resilient SAARC countries. And we could see that 99% of the children and youth have experienced disasters in the past 12 months, and which are mostly connected to hydrometeorological disasters. And children and youth are no longer strangers to the climate crisis. We can see like the most disaster which they mentioned, which have impacted them were the extreme temperature and the floods and the intense rains. So we call for an inclusive approach to address the vulnerabilities of everyone, and we could find out through this survey that the most vulnerable, like the disabilities, have not enough support to prepare for the disasters. So with this, we also request and call for the government and UN agencies to collaborate to address the negative impact which the hazards have on the disabilities and the other vulnerable groups. So most of the children and youth, when we did the survey, we could find out that they learned about the climate crisis and DRR student education curriculum, followed by social media and the news channels. So we should have a strong curriculum developed to build a resilient world and to bring more awareness about climate crisis and DRR. So we need to build a resilient world. We need to empower them. We need to give them the floor. We need to listen to them, as youth are the agents of change. We need to involve them in the policy processes so that the 2 points which has been highlighted in the beginning, that we have the major youth labor force, and also they are the youth which is below the age of 24, could participate in the policy making, and their voice should be heard. Lastly, uh, children and youth has given certain recommendation for the government, Department of Education, NGOs, UN organizations, so that we can make a resilient world for them and make their future secure. With this, they have called for an inclusive platform more inclusion of DRR in climate adaptation in formal education. Most importantly, we should provide access to disabled children and youth so that they are more prepared for disasters, and we need to empower children and youth to take actions. With this, I want to conclude and happy to follow up with the questions. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Kalpana, can you unmute yourself?
Okay, sorry. Thank you so much, Miss Jaikulin Lipi Sakia, for your wonderful presentation. It was really insightful for all of us. Now, I would like to invite our next and the last speaker for this session, Miss Taznia Ahmed. She is a program officer in SAARC, Bangladesh, and she is based in Dhaka, Bangladesh. Miss Taznia, I would like to give you the floor. Please start.
Thanks, Kalpana, and thanks to all the organizers and the participants that actually covering all the platform and discussing about this Peace Day to make sure to engage young people to make a shape of peace in all together for the people in the country. So whenever it comes to the point of to engage young people to collaborate with them with the inclusivity, I mean the meaningful inclusivity, that is really very important to connect young people with their dignity, and in that perspective promoting youth rights, equality and respect, these things are really very important to ensure sustainable development, to take any climate change adaptation and covering any kind of prosperity of planet. So in that case, to ensure peace, these things are really very important to connect young people with their dignity and other crises. And about the importance of youth, it's really very important because the collective approach with their security and measurement can takes a really very long things to know about the law and security, so that the even the country administration also takes the best carrier cities to know about their other comprehensive things to make a very collaborative approach. In that case, to know about the harmony, we have to make sure to ensure the harmony in any kind of sustainable development and the planet and other territories, to know about the issues, because mutual understanding, cooperation and common responsibility, and in fact any kind of climate change adaptation and intra or inter-religious harmony, that's are really very important. Like and young people from the country that also, or that can urge the government, the NGO or the any kind of alliance, the even the individual can also ask the government to make a very collaborative approach to ensure the harmony, to ensure the peace from shaping together. So these things are really very important, because as a country perspective, Bangladesh is almost 88% are Muslim. So in that case, we cannot just go forward the other religious persons. We have to move together so that we can ensure peace, even in our climate change, even in our health crisis, even in our humanitarian crisis or any emergencies issues. Like as an example, considering the COVID-19 situation, it's really very important to move together so that we can mitigate all kinds of country problem, even the world problem, even for the humanitarian people and the general people. So in that case, harmony is really very important. And connecting to this, SAARC Bangladesh is always try to cover up a peace chit chat, which is called Peace Adda. We are trying to cover all young people on that program, and we arrange this Peace Adda in every month, so that we can talk about and ensure the debating and stimulate the other non-violent extremism
and any kind of digital or social media platform things, or other extremism and harassment issues, so that this will be a safe place for young people, so that they can also talk about the other issues, and they are non-judgmental any kind of decision. So in that perspective, I want to conclude this as a peaceful coexistence in the community, in the planet, in the climate action. Everything is really very needed in terms of peaceful coexistence. And in this perspective, youth inclusivity is really very important, because young people are really very promoting their understanding, and of course their mutual understanding, and providing the formal and non-formal education that can connect the coexistence of peace in our country. Even they can also connect the climate change and take a really very small initiative, because this small initiative can be take a really very a big adoption for the planet and the prosperity. So in that case, different kinds of education, different kind of programs, different kinds of spiritual and social emotional learning, individual training, and of course the country ambassador, these kinds of recommendation can be taken the peace in terms of planet, in terms of economy, in terms of humanitarian or any emergency crisis, so that other young people can also encourage some of the new people or from the grassroots level to national level, because no alternative to youth in peace building. It's not possible to go forward without youth. So in this case, peace building is really very important, and with the help and supporting hand of youth, this peace building can be ensured for the young people and the other from age to grassroots and the national level. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Taznia Ahmed, for your valuable inputs and valuable sharing. Now we have complete all our panelists, and now we are here to question answer session. If we have any question answer in the chat box, I would like to request our all panelists to respond on that questions. I would like to I would like to first invite Ms. Nanki Kaur. If there is any question, please respond to that. If there is no question, then please you can put your views in 1 minute.
Hi again. I don't see any questions, so unless somebody has something specifically, I'd be happy to take a question. But otherwise, very happy to see that the other panelists also highlighted on the need for climate action and resilience. And really, once again, just to say congratulations on the launch of your platform. I do believe it's a very, very important initiative. And I think young people do come address some of our problems with a completely different mindset. And I think that really actually might be the only hope to get out of some of the very big messes that we are in at the moment. So congratulations, and look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nanki Kaur. Now I'm seeing here in participants, Prantu Bangladesh is raising his hand. Can you please speak? Prantu Bangladesh.
Am I audible to everyone?
Yes.
So thank you very much for this wonderful session, and it was really an honor for me to be a part of this great event. So my question is actually, can SAARC Youth Platform take initiatives to collaborate or incorporate all the local organizations which are working in different sectors? Like some of them are working on climate change, some of them are working on disaster management, some of them are working on entrepreneurship and all other things. So my question is actually about if this organization can promote or collaborate with all the organizations which are youth based and which are which are actually willing to work together to ensure the youth development in the SAARC countries. Thank you.
So, okay. So any other wants to speak here? Okay, if not, I would like to request Mr. Ariel to put your views or remarks in 1 minute and also address what Pranto Bangladesh put here. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that suggestion is very important to engage all the youth groups, organizations in different countries. At the end of the day, what makes a sub-region our national entities, our local entities, our local groups. So it would be good to learn from the experiences from the grassroots and create platforms and venues for active participation of the youth, even at the local and national level, to make this SAARC Youth platform more meaningful, more engaging. Again, congratulations and all the best on your activities to the organizers of this platform. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I
Can I add one line?
Okay, please.
Yeah, thank you. So about considering the Pranto's question, as CYB is also working with the platform that is covering the different kinds of issues and also working with the SAARC Youth platform. So Pranto can completely work with us through CYB. Even the Pranto can also work with us as a SAARC. So you can also communicate with me or SAARC to join with the SAARC Youth platform. Thanks.
Can I have your contract number or email address or something
Sure,
like that?
I will put my contact details in message box.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much,
Yeah,
Tasneem.
just to add, so I see a lot of queries regarding how are we planning to move forward and how people can engage having local youth organizations or as individuals or um, uh, those who are running their individual projects. So we will now be having Ashish Kular for synopsis and also sharing the way forward with the SAARC platform.
Yeah, thank you, Soumya. And thank you, Tasneem. Now I can see another hand is raising here. Miss Pema Wangmulama from Nidwan. I would like to give you the floor.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for letting me join this launch event and the panel discussion because I have been able to learn a lot. And what I wanted to ask to everyone is that I represent an organization which works for indigenous disabled women. So I would like to know in what direction and what are the initiatives that SAARC is going to take in order to involve youth from diverse group like from indigenous to disabled youth, and how are they going to work and involve those youth, disabled and women in their activities, and how can our organization be involved with the SAARC? Thank you.
Thank you, Pema. I think this question will be addressed by Ashish Kular, who is the board of SAARC Youth Platform. He will be presenting synthesis and call for action in next session. So I guess your questions will be addressed on that. If our panelists have to address anything or want to say something regarding this topic that we are discussing about, then please go ahead.
Well, if I may, I can add that one of our new project formats is to work with women, with mothers of families and local communities by forming so-called self-help groups, women's groups, which tackle the typical problems families in rural South Asia are facing, including a good future for the children, of course, but also like raising the family, having a stable income, social relations, gender equality, and all this. And you are, of course, encouraged, if you are in Nepal, to approach my Nepalese colleagues and get to know whether further so-called self-help group projects are to be implemented. And maybe we can start also a partnership by fostering and supporting a project of women's groups who then are concentrating on promoting a sustainable life for families and for the community.
Okay, thank you so much, Johans. Now I would like to invite Miss Jacqueline Lipi Sakia. If you have anything left to say or anything that you want to address, please go ahead.
Thank you so much. The last points I would to say, we are very keen to take forward the findings and the gaps we find out to address the climate crisis and DRR, and we would be very happy to collaborate and work together with the SAARC Youth Platform. And big congratulations to all of you on this launch event. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline. Now we have last speaker, Miss Taznia. Would you like to say something?
Yeah, thank you, Kalpana, again. So about the whole networking systems, it's really very important to ensure the networking among the people so that we can conclude or any kind of information in kinds of communication. So because communication is the part that we must be ensured in kind of peace, in kind of any country basis or even the third country basis important. So in that case, networking is really very important to ensure to any kind of to shaping any kind of thing. So yeah, of course, the implementation, networking, communication, that must be important, and that we must be ensured to everyone. And of course, the inclusivity of young people with their meaningful priority, that must be important. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Now we are at the end of this second panel session. And next is we have a synthesis and call for action. For that, I would like to invite Mr. Assis Khular, who is board of member of SAARC Youth Platform, and he will be presenting the call for action. Before that, I would like to thank everyone who have joined us today in this historic session, historic moment, I would say, and staying till this end of this session. And I hope that we have explored the youth's role in SAARC region for the prosperity and planet as promised in Agenda 2030. And of course, we will go together as we have already shared in this session. With this, I would like to thank everyone personally and on behalf of SAARC Youth Platform as well. And please stay tuned and please like, share, and connect with our Facebook page, Twitter, and website. There will be more information and more activities regarding youth-focused activities in SAARC region. So I would request everyone to follow our social media. With that, I would like to invite and hand over this session to Mr. Assis Khular. Assis, over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kalpana.
Thank you so much, Kalpana, and thank you to all my colleagues. Wait, you can't see me. Oh, thank you to all my colleagues. It's been great listening to this event. I was in and out because it's an International Peace Day and lots of different things actually happening. And I actually just reported in a different meeting with the UN that the SAARC platform launch is going on as well. So, I think while concluding, I'd like to highlight a few things, which will help answer a lot of the questions as well. I think first and foremost, it's really important that what we are seeing is an example of not only regional, but also sub-regional organization and sub-regional self-organization. So it's young people from the region and from the sub-region that are coming together and organizing themselves in a way that they seem most appropriate around topics that they seem most appropriate and around institutions that they want to engage with. And it's really refreshing to see that young people in South Asia actually look at SAARC as an institution that they should be engaging with, when actually SAARC member states are don't seem as invested in SAARC as an institution in the current standing. So it's great, and hopefully the platform and hopefully all of us can breathe more life into multilateralism in the South Asian context. Having said that, I will also like to highlight the fact that it's great that the SAARC Youth Platform is aligned with the different regional and sub-regional bodies, not just SAARC, but also working with the UN system, also working with the foundations, also working with other multilateral institutions, which are very, very relevant to the region. And we saw it in all the different panels. So that's great. In terms of engagement and so on and so forth, it's worth noting that the SAARC Youth Platform, after a lot of due discussion and deliberation, decided to follow what is called a universal and equitable model. So the platform does not follow a model of one country, one member. It essentially, it doesn't follow that, hence it follows a universal and open model, which essentially says that any youth organization and any young person in the SAARC region can directly become a member of the platform. While we do coordination, there are different kinds of structures that come into the fray. In some contexts, there's a national focal point organization. And then when we talk about substantive work, again, it's absolutely open in a universal and equitable context. What this also means is not only is access open to anybody, but also every member has the same standing. So there's no concept of associate member, half member, full member, or bigger member, smaller member. Local youth organization is as important as an international youth organization and as important as a regional youth organization. So if that helps answer some questions. We do have a website that is up. We have started working on the website. The membership form is actually on the website and people can just start filling it. So that is the easiest thing to do. In addition to that, there are, different ways in which we'll be seeking to engage with our membership in the coming days. There will be an open briefing in the next few weeks, and we look forward to everyone's participation there. So, I would like to think I've touched on all the topics. One is the importance of regional and sub-regional self-organization. The other is the importance of universality and equity while organizing ourselves. The third point is also ascertaining what topics and institutions that we want to work with or we have to work with while we organize ourselves in order to be more effective. So I think, and I hope I've covered all the points, but if someone has any questions, more than happy to answer those as well. Hello? Are we closing the meeting? I don't know what's happening.
I think we'll add the next session.
Hello, Assis.
Yeah.
If you are done, I think you should close the session.
Oh, okay. So, all right. Was that it? Okay. Then I hope what I said was decent. And if people have questions, I can answer. But I guess we can close the session otherwise. Thank you so much to everybody for being here. And we look forward to working with everybody. And we'll be sending out communication to all of you and to members of the public as well. And hopefully see you all around. And looking forward to being engaged. Thank you so much. See you. Bye.